So you've loaded the SD card into the printer and you want to print. This video will cover how to set up the printer to print your part. We want to check that the gap between the nozzle and the bed is good. This is essential for a successful print. On the control panel, click the knob to display the options. Go to Prepare, press in on the knob to select, then click Auto Home. We use a piece of paper to determine the proper gap between the nozzle and the bed. I'll put one here so it homes on top of it. Now that it is homed, go back to Prepare, then select Disable Steppers. This will let you move the bed and the nozzle to help determine the bed height across the bed. When doing this, try not to touch the bed. The oils from your hand will make it difficult to stick the first layer of the print. The paper should be able to move with little resistance. No resistance is bad, as is too much. The extruder started ripping the paper. The nozzle is too close to the bed. Now adjust the Z knob closer to its limit switch. This will raise the nozzle away from the bed. After making the Z adjustment, go back to Prepare and Auto Home to re-home the printer. Remember to disable the steppers. They won't let you move them without disabling them. It's good to check the gap at the corners and midpoints of the bed. I usually start from the right and make my way left. It feels pretty close. A little loose in some areas. The bed is not completely flat, so the best you can really do is just get a good average height. Most prints will be in the middle of the bed, so it's always good to make sure the middle height is spot on. The next check is to go to Prepare and preheat the printer. Preheat PLA should be sufficient. When everything gets up to temperature, there is some warping effect on the bed, and this will affect the gap between the nozzle and the bed. Notice that the nozzle is now 180 degrees Celsius and the bed is 70 degrees Celsius. Try not to touch these as you perform the last height check because these will burn you. The gap is too big, so I adjusted the Z knob once again to fine-tune the height. This process can be a little repetitive, as you may adjust the Z knob and it'll be too close, you'll adjust it again, it'll be too far away. It really is a feel that you get for it, and it may not be perfect, so at some point you just kind of have to assume it's good enough and just start printing. It took me a few adjustments before getting a sufficient gap. It takes a feel of the paper, but generally you want to be able to push the paper under the nozzle without it bending, but nothing less than that. As you can see here, I'm able to push the paper under the nozzle. After checking the middle part of the bed, it seems like the bed has some warp on it. I make another adjustment before calling it good. At this point, it's about as good as it's going to get. The next stage is to start the print and observe the first layer.